All right. Good afternoon, folks. Jeff Kozlowski here. This is my first time streaming the K-Stream podcast. Honestly, I'm kind of in like a little test trial period, trying to figure out, trying to just test out the streaming aspect of everything when it comes to the podcast. So just streaming here on Twitter for the day, and hopefully looking to expand that here in the near future, maybe to some other channels. But welcome to another episode of the K-Stream podcast. This is my first one. Not only is it live, it's my first one by myself. I just wanted to come on for a little bit and talk about going live versus recording a video, and why I prefer, not only personally, but to have guests and folks I work with go live versus just recording a video. So, obviously there's situations where, you'll want to record videos. I'm talking about in instances like, maybe you're a CEO and you want to send around a staff update video to your company. You can go into in a private Facebook group or on your website and do the update that way. Or you're a small business, small mom and pop company, you have some new items you want to showcase to your Facebook audience. And, I think that's a great opportunity to go live. Or you're a winery or a wine shop and you just got some new wines in, you're doing a wine tasting, go on with a friend and do some wine tasting live. So in those situations, or if you're just, you're bringing on a guest and you want to talk about a topic, you're a podcaster and you're doing a podcast like I'm doing today. Sometimes it's just easier to go live. A lot of times it's easier to go live. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So, we hear the word live and something goes off inside of us that says, be nervous, right? So again, I'm here today hoping to let you know that I think it's a little easier than producing a recorded video. And for almost a year, I have produced daily live streams, well, every weekday with a government agency. And I also produce my fair share of recorded videos that are produced and published at a later date. And I tell you, regardless of the subjects or the interviewee or the guest's experience, the live videos almost always come across more authentic, more conversational, more natural. When we know something is being recorded, we have it in our minds that, we have multiple tries to get something right, quote unquote, right. So naturally, at the first slip up or the first time we stumble over a word, we're going to stop and do it again. And I think the more times you do that, the less natural it comes across, the more scripted it sounds. And I think and going live forces us to just keep going, just like we would in a conversation with a friend or a colleague, and I think that's the kind of experience your audience or your customers want when they deal with you or your business or your brand. They want to feel like they're dealing with a friend, and live streaming, I think, can help evoke that kind of emotion. And so, if you're trying to get more comfortable going live, you're a little hesitant, here's a few ways I think that can help push you in that direction. I always like to tell folks to use help. There is nothing wrong with using notes during a live stream. I'm doing it right now as I speak. I'm not saying you should memorize everything you say. I'm not saying you should read a script word for word either. I'm saying, find a happy medium there. Use an outline, use some notes, just so you can kind of make sure you say all the things you want to say and keep yourself on track. Nobody minds if you're looking off camera a little bit once in a while to kind of make sure you're saying the things you need to say. Again, it's more natural. Reading a script word for word is not. So also call on an expert. You don't always have to go live alone. Bring on a guest, add another layer of conversation, that two-way element. It's much easier to be conversational when you're talking to someone else. Like I said, this is the first time I'm doing an episode of my podcast by myself. It is much easier to be conversational when you have somebody else to talk to, right? So use a subject matter expert to help you. And this is super cliche, but practice makes perfect. It's so true, though, especially when it comes to streaming. I think, most folks that I've talked to, and even a couple folks that have been a guest on my podcast, the folks that regularly stream or regularly speak on camera will readily admit that their first few attempts were less than stellar. So, it's okay. We get better as we do more, right? You'll get better as you do more of these things. And I think lastly, there is an efficiency piece to streaming that I want to talk about. So remember, after you do the live stream, you have a recorded video. This one will probably end up being 10, 15 minutes of recorded video that you could then add to other channels that maybe you didn't go live on. You post to your website, post to a blog, send to your social media team maybe so they can edit it and post clips on an evergreen basis, pull quotes for graphics, stuff like that. The recorded video, of course, lives on wherever you do broadcast. So people can view the replay. A lot of times, I personally, on the streams I do, see a lot more engagement. I shouldn't say more. There's plenty of additional engagement on the replays, after they air live. And, another example, I'm like, when I'm finished with this stream today, I'm going to export the audio and post it as a podcast. So that'll go up on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, all the channels. So there's much less editing. I'm not going to edit it at all. There's much less editing. It's authentic. You get longer shelf life. I really do think live is the way to go. So that's really it. Again, it's a quick update. Really, the only just wanted to come on and chat about live versus recorded. So again, 9 times out of 10. Folks that I work with on live video versus recorded, it almost always comes out better when the video is done live. Again, it's authentic, conversational. People can relate to that. So I hope through this video, I if you were considering doing some live, maybe I pushed you in that direction. And just real quick, I want to mention, if you're interested, you can find more podcast episodes of mine at the link below. I think this is like episode 8, so there's not a ton to check out, but I would appreciate it if you did. JeffKozlowski.com/podcast. JeffKozlowski.com. I do a lot of live streaming, virtual event, video production type articles. So if that's something you're interested in, please check it out. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thanks so much.